There he is. I put one down and there's one more down where or still up where I shot those flares. There's two down over here. Don't know about the one that I saw in the flare. He was at the light terminal. Hello and welcome. This is the commander speaking. And right there, you have an illustration of a principle I call see far, hear close, where I set myself up on this wall where I could see far down it, but hear who was coming up to the corner close to me. In my previous video, Silence is Golden, scroll back and watch that one. You can see another example of hear close, even though I couldn't see far in both that trench and those tight quarters in the urban little village area. And I think I'm going to record and show more of these instances where I successfully use this tactic. I had a great clip of it in a wooded situation, but the advantage of hearing is that it's 360. When you've got a good headset, good comms that are quiet, and especially if you have other teammates who are also listening and able to react to sounds, and especially if you know what your friendly positions are. And because I didn't know that, and people weren't making it clear, I spent a good 10 minutes searching this building, chasing around footsteps that I couldn't tell what floor they were on, because I didn't know they were teammates. You know, I kept hearing people moving around, and I don't have time to check my map every time. You know, and there's dead guys. You know, there was someone in here, and finally I found the U.S. team guy's body, but nobody told me, oh, we got the one in that building, Felix. So I ended up on a goose chase in a circle, chasing my tail in this building just because I kept hearing movement. And it's also key to note that I couldn't just chase around that noise because I was only moving when I heard him moving, which is what allowed me to get those guys in those two guys in the beginning of the clip. Is when you hear someone walking up on you, when they're moving, their feet are the loudest feet noise near them. It's much more difficult to detect someone else's feet noise, even if they're just 10 feet from you, because that's much quieter than your own feet. That's why in the woodcraft it is customary to walk and then stop. Walk and then stop. Just to listen to see on those off beats if you can hear someone else walking that is not your teammate. And that's why formation is especially important, especially in vanilla at night, where you're pretty much blind going in until the flares start getting popped, until flashlights go on, until, you know, you get close enough to see name tags and stuff at night. That's a lot of why I bring flares even in night vision servers, because those flares serve as a zone of daytime that blinds that night vision. And because almost no one brings flares in nighttime ops on modern style night vision servers, I bring the flares because it turns it back into what I'm more used to, which is vanilla. You know, because now in order to see in or out of that flared zone, you got to turn your night vision off. So now we get flares and illumination, and they don't get any. So typically what I do in daytime ops is I bring GL with colored smoke. That's only for NATO. It doesn't seem that Russia gets colored smoke grenades. But they both get colored flares, and so I use those for the same purpose at night. I got the white flares to illumine and the colored flares to mark targets, the same way I'm marking targets in daytime with the colored smoke. And I don't know if you could see it there, but this is from a previous clip I've posted where those two flares, even though they didn't illumine him directly, they gave away his outline. So I was able to take him out, and he was blinded. So it's nighttime, he's in concealment, so he would think in that tree line, but the moment I pop that flare over him, now he's blinded by the light and I'm hidden in darkness because his NVGs are overloaded. And he either has to turn them way down or just take them off. Now in this clip you're going to see kind of the inverse of this when it comes to vehicles, which is you can almost always hear vehicles further than you can see them. And this is why helicopter drops, in my opinion, are one of the least effective tactics, is because you always lose one of the most important elements of any attack, which is surprise. I was able to take these guys by surprise and get 2 of them right off the rip for nothing. I mean, obviously they killed me, but I mean, I killed 2 of them before they even shot back and got me. That's a 2-for-1 trade, and I'm respawning and running right back where they are. You can see on the map there, you know, they're not going to be able to make it into apartments now because they're stalled on that section. Also, it's the second time they've dropped there. If they dropped on the south side, you know, an alternative location, sure, they'd be able to get in closer, but everyone can hear them and react to them. And converge on the sound, right? And when it comes to vehicles, you can hear far and see close, because I can only see 100, 200 meters at most in this area, but I can hear 300, 400, 500 meters, especially with that loud bird. So in that case, they did pretty well, because they're about 500 meters from the point, but because we'd already had previous contact there, and my guys are in the area, they can't get in. And I'm able to respawn and run all the way back over to the point of contact before they can get past the guys in the apartments out there. Oh, and FYI, I'm shooting those 2 GLs to hit anybody with splash who might be standing near him at that entrance. And here again we have another example on infantry of hear close, see far. You know, I could see to that choke point there, but I could hear this guy crossing the street next to me. And I couldn't quite get him in the street, but, you know, I can hear him coming through there. Boom. See, he's... I mean, I couldn't tell what he was doing there. It looked like he was both looking up the staircase and then snapping to me, but, you know, that was enough time for me to gun him down before he could react to me. I don't know why he thought I would be up the stairs. I guess he was checking for another friend of mine up there, but... Anyway, this has been the Commander speaking. Over and out.